So with respect, again, to these telecommuters who have remote access to company information, they also have less direct supervision over their use of company data and property. So that, raises the concern of what are they doing as they sit on their computer at home and access confidential information. Could they copy it? Many ways that they could copy it, many ways that they could copy it if they were sitting at a desk in the office as well. But again, you don't have other people around that would make it potentially more difficult to misappropriate information. So you should all be thinking about what measures do you take to prevent employees from intentionally or even accidentally taking or transferring proprietary information for their own use or to unauthorized third parties. Not to leave that thought entirely, but to raise the related one that, security, of course, is also a question. There are, even if you have good employees who are telecommuting, like in the workplace, there are outside parties who may have bad intentions and are seeking to access your business information. Remote data transfer between telecommuting employees and the company's electronic systems may not be as secure as on-site access. Obviously, there's a tremendous amount that can be done to ensure higher levels of security, but many companies are not taking those measures either based on cost or lack of awareness of the concerns or carelessness or whatever the factors might be. But that is a reality that someone who has access once they leave the workplace, I mean, frankly, even employees who don't regularly telecommute but can log in from home raise these considerations. And there are these additional concerns when employees use public or home Wi-Fi connections. Another thought, I think I mentioned at the beginning, that telecommuters often work from home, sometimes work from coffee shops or wherever they can get Wi-Fi access, or maybe they don't even need internet access. But even if you do a lot to lock down a home connection for your telecommuting employees, wonder whether they are and whether you've told them not to, or whether you've allowed them to work in the public and use public Wi-Fi connections, in which case the security risks are almost necessarily much greater. Again, there's ways to address that. I mean, there are private hotspot type of networks that companies can provide to employees, even if they're going to work outside of their home, transportable, Wi-Fi connections that they can do more to lock down than what you would find at your local coffee shop. Whether that's cost effective or practical under the circumstances would have to be considered. And let's not forget just the physical security risk, the notion of break-in. I mean, your offices, especially to the extent you have confidential information held within them, probably have physical security means in place, whether it be locked cabinets, locked doors, alarm systems, on-site security, etc. These are many things that your employee's home may not have by default. Again, this may or may not matter as much. It may be that you're only concerned about the electronic transmission of data for your telecommuting employees, and once you address that, you have substantially resolved your risk of losing company property. It could be, however, that you have employees who are taking home physical files that would not be as well protected as they will be in the workplace. They may even have access to company property. Let's just think about the computer that you may be providing to your telecommuting employees. In the case of a computer programmer or some sort of digital graphics designer or something like that, you may be providing relatively expensive equipment even to telecommuting employees. So question whether you want to require them to maintain some minimum level of physical security. Do you want to make sure they have an alarm system, or ask them to somehow lock and secure access to that equipment?